Greetings, my fellow vaulters. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Biotech Doomsday Vault, Episode 27, Plasteel Caravan. So most of the interaction that we're having with the outside world here is now just hauling. Pretty exclusively. Something else I wanted to make, how much uranium do? 400? Okay, I have plenty. Is a breach axe out of uranium. Make this with Cathanon, so it's actually high quality. And that will help Kadath clear some of the debris that's out there. Alright, barely any Tinctoria left. So... question. I'll just keep checking to see if the other poll is up, but I don't think it is. Should I add Tinctoria planters? Do you think it's worth the steel and components, or not? I'll leave it up to you. It also looks like we're down to simple meals only. So I'm going to unsuspend the simple meal queue because we're out of meat from all those foxes that we killed. Oh, we did find a Plasteel deposit. So it's nearby. Others will mine it in 30 days if we don't. And it's dangerous. So it's a day and a half away. I do have transport pods to be able to get us there quick. And it's 5 in the morning, so yeah, let's actually plan a bit of a mine. I think the people to add to this would probably be Kadath, maybe Shay, and Destroyer. No, because Destroyer's a pacifist. Kadath, Sapo, and Shay. I don't want someone that doesn't fight out there, because there's a potential for a lot of danger. The other issue I'm going to run into is I don't have a lot of, I don't have any, like, packaged meals, so I'm going to send them with meals that will inevitably rot, just because I can't do better. Where's my meds? Send them with some medicine, and maybe with some tea as well. Do any of them have cooking? Yeah, it wouldn't really matter. There's no, like, raw ingredients out there. It's a polluted tile. So there's, like, bristleberries or whatever it's called, but probably no toxic potatoes or anything like that. Okay, we're ready to go. Relatively small. I'm not really sure how much we're going to be actually physically be able to carry. But we will get to work. So there's the breach axe. Cool. Smelt weapon. So this is all Biocode weapons. This is any apparel that drops below 50%. And this is all tainted apparel. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Turn those off, I don't need them. Bro Knight, thank you for the sub. Welcome. There's not really anything worth hunting here, either. Although, with a day-and-a-half return trip caravanning, it would likely get rotted in transit anyway. And it looks like you guys do want me to plant some additional Tinctoria planters. Okay, cool. So that there is 8 more planters for Tinctoria specifically. Hey, girl. And there's no point in mining any more than we can't carry home. So I gotta try to figure out what our carry is. So we can carry maybe... It's 4 per kilogram. And I have... $20 more... So like 80 more Plaststeels, 2 more nodes mined, and we'll be topped up. Because of our limited carry weight. And before you ask, no, I will not be adding Beasts of Burden to Caravan. Not in the cards. Personal preference, not changing my mind. A mad toxalope. Oh, so there is a toxalope herd, or whatever you call a group of toxalopes, that have come in. Cool. Schedule. Everybody underground for safety. And then Shield, you will go into the entryway with your charge rifle and deal with said mad toxalope. And then I'll go counter hunt them because they're good eatins. All right, so that should be enough Plasteel to completely fill up the caravan. Oh, almost. That's good enough. It's honestly, it's close enough. It's like 1 kilogram off. But my napkin math, not too bad. Ooh, 3 shots, 3 hits. Dang. Unrestricted, except for children. And then, where are they? There they are. A turd of toxalopes? Yeah. Yeah. That's... Or maybe... Wondering if I can do better. No, that's pretty good. So I think the last tree... Yeah, the last tree can take the last of the toxins that I have. So I have... Yeah. Oh, warg hunting camp. Well, at least it's an adult. You start coming back, and then who's close by to help you? Shane and Shield. Shane's still a child himself, but slightly more capable child. So, Cam, you run at normal speeds, so oh, well, this is a toxically built up warg. It's not likely to be able to run you down, which is good. Tame toxalopes do not produce fuel now. If you click on them, they actually tell you that. Toxalope cannot be milked. I mean, if it could, it would just, what, make pollution? Who needs that? That's a bad murder puppy. Alright, thank you, Shield. So they are on their way back. They have 1.9 days of food, 1.8 days of travel. So it's like I planned that perfectly. And I absolutely don't need a bunch of sangophages coming to my map tile. Thank you, but goodbye. And the color of the acidic smog really threw me off. I was like, what is this? Oh, it's just limestone. I did not plant these correctly. There we go. Oh, it's pre-recorded because of the amount of food? I see. So hopefully these toxalopes will be able to fulfill our clothing requirements, because our clothing requirements are a little behind. We don't have enough spare toques, parkas, or button-down shirts. And the reason I'm hunting the toxalopes is toxalopes are immune to environmental toxins. The environment here will slowly kill off the animals, and the higher the toxic buildup is, the more likely they are to be instantly rotted upon their death, like this warg, which is already rotted. It died rotted. So the only things that aren't going to be immediately rotted like that are toxalopes and waste rats, but waste rats are not a lot of... they're not a lot of meat for how angry they will be if you shoot them, is I guess the nicest way I can put it. So it's a tiny bit of meat, and they will seek revenge almost always. Meaning it's maybe not a great idea to try to hunt them for food. If you cleared area... If I clear the area map tiles from pollution, will the acidic smog repollute it? So the way acidic smog is it's actually an average of the pollution of all of the map tiles within, I think, 5 range. And because it's literally impossible to colonize the adjacent tiles to your home, it's impossible if you have pollution next within 1 tile of your settlement to ever depollute it. So, acidic smog is just something that we have to live with forever. There is no counter to it. Yeah. The way... It actually, if you mouse over it, it tells you. The current world tile has a nearby pollution score of 36.09, calculated by adding up the pollution of nearby world tiles. I believe nearby... I know I'm in the way here, but I believe nearby world tiles is 5. It calculates the tiles that are 1 and 2 away as a higher than 3, 4, and 5. Or maybe it's only up to 4. But whatever the number is, it's basically a rough average of the pollution in your general vicinity. So even if we were to remove literally every little last bit of pollution on this home map tile, wouldn't make much of a difference because it's an average of the geographical area, which is a really cool way to do it. So if you had 100% polluted world everywhere, it would hypothetically be possible to clean up an area, but what you would have to do is you'd have to clean... You'd have to basically settle, like, a huge swath of the areas one by one, cleaning up the map tiles, and then settle the middle last. And clean that up. And then you could be, like, acidic smog free. But that would take you, like, 50 in-game years. I mean, it would be... EPA Superfund site. You can clean a tile through a Caravan map event. On Unstable, I believe. Not currently, right? Pro Knight, thank you for the bits, too. You subbed and cheered? You're welcome. I'm glad you like the YouTube series. So we know the next challenge series? Yeah, that one would be grueling. I mean, it's hypothetically possible, but it would be grueling. Yeah, I mean, as in unstable branch. Yeah. Or is it a caravan event that can currently happen? Here, let me do some science here, because why not? Incident. No. There are no caravan events regarding pollution on this branch that I can see. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the walking encyclopedia of RimWorld. Close, but I don't think anyone knows everything. Not even Tynan himself. It's just too much to know, which is really, really, really cool. There's not a lot of games where I can say, you know, it's just too much. It's just too much. So why are my farmers not... Oh, because you know what? I sent all my farmers away, didn't I? That I did. Shield. He's busy cooking. And Carlotta's a child and can't farm very fast. Can Pollux trees be relocated with tree sowing? How about we find out? Well, no, I already have tree sowing, so I can already tell you the answer is no. But in the unstable branch, there's the ability to buy Pollux seeds or quest for them. So soon you'll be able to, or if you play on unstable, you'll be able to actually decide where your Pollux trees sprout, which is a really cool concept. It would have really helped me here. Thomas has a passion for growing? He does. He has a skill of 1, though. And he's a really good constructor. And he also likes to set things on fire, so maybe keep the pyromaniac out of the farm. Just seems like a good idea to me. Oh, you can use any caravan map to clean up the event tile. I think the event tile and the actual settlement tile, I think, are separate, though. I mean, I'd have to test that. But caravan event tiles aren't full map tiles. They're like, well, 100 by 100 or something. So I don't know if they cross. Yeah. I don't know enough to answer that definitively. Whether that's a thing or not. So they'll be home in just about a day. I guess now that we did the run of Psychoid, I can go back to hops. I would like at some point to do cotton as well. Oh, so it does work. Okay. So if you just had a bunch of caravan events around the circumference of your own base, you could hypothetically clean it up. And that's actually a bit of an exploit, because those incident tiles are much smaller, so they're easier to fully decontaminate. Not that easy, because often those event tiles will have a recurring threat, like every 4 days you get more raiders, which means like you're gonna have to deal with just raiders coming over and over and over for a lot of those events. Some events, not all of them, but a lot of the events will constantly attack you. So I don't have waste packs in my base anymore. We are completely clean. One of the things that we might contemplate doing is to expand the cleaned area right outside of the vault exit. Once the trees can take additional waste pack capacity. Because the thing is, if I overwhelm the areas here, it will start to spread the waste in places I don't want. So I have to wait for the Pollux tree to do a fair bit of cleanup before dumping more packs there. Otherwise, I run the risk of polluting things I don't want polluted. Did someone say Thomas on fire? Yeah, yeah. You want to be working in the farms, but I haven't allowed you because of your proclivity towards. In fact, let me add some fire foam poppers. Your proclivity towards liking to set fires. What happened with Wenny last week, I figured fire foam poppers is not an unreasonable response. Ooh, my power's low. With all the new fire foam tech, though, it's a lot easier to put out fires. Plus, the paramedic bot is really good at it, too. Is this useless jade? Yeah, it's useless jade. Check the smog versus the trees. Oh, the trees don't care about the smog. All the smog does is it makes your colonists' eyes water. So, if you check the health here, the smog makes my eyes water and it smells awful. I wish I could have a few fresh breaths. And it's over anyway. So I'm going to decide to use this zone for solar. I mean, I think it makes sense. So we'll go ahead and drop 2 panels in there. If I'm already dealing with the potential pod drop risk out here, I might as well just lean into it and get a benefit out of it. LA life. Yeah, I used to live in the greater LA area, and oh, the smog is not good. Better in more recent years than it was once, but it's still real bad. Recently, I think the air quality in the Pacific Northwest was rated as the worst in the world due to some of the fires too. I think that's how bad the air quality has been as of late, which is rough. All right, they're back in 0.2 days, and that's for 250 Plasteel, which is not bad, but that's only roughly 2 more locust armors, so it's not like a huge wealth of stuff. Oh, really? How'd this start? Yaroslav implied negative things about Shield's brother's charm. Fighting for your brother's honor by ripping off a kid's toes. Hey Yaroslav, you want to go through a regen cycle? So there's 2 things that we could do with Yaroslav. He's missing toes on the same foot. So have you guys decide what to do about Yarrow. Regen cycle, bionic leg, or nothing. Those are, I think, the 3 options that I see. And yeah, Shield, I would say you won the fight by, like, massive margin. Because Yaroslav has no toes. Or is missing a toe, and he bruised you once. Basically, you taught that kid a lesson, I guess. Okay, they're home. Finally. So, some families reunited. It's awesome. Nothing bad happened while they were out. That's what I like to see. And it's really nice to have my farmers back, because now I have, like, double the capacity to cook. That's a really good amount of tea. You're already fully healed. Oh, man. Now, something else that I think that we could definitely afford is another vitals monitor. There's no reason not to just make another one. Let's make that with cam 18, 18, and 17. It doesn't really matter. Make it with cam. Can we paint bedrooms? I don't have paint right now. I have 10 more dyes, which is not enough to paint much of anything. But once we get more dyes, sure. So it's August 12th. I have to keep an eye on when winter comes because I'm going to need to harvest the chocolate trees. I don't think that the cocoa trees are going to be able to go full grow before frost could potentially kill them. So remind me when what is the grow season actually? Grow season ends around 6th of September. So in about 9 days, remind me to harvest the chocolate or we might not get any. I like our little brewery. And Fabby, here's some puppy treats. A free Yoda cam, in fact. A little meat haul. Exactly. Gotta keep a close eye on my batteries. They're pretty low. I'm gonna cycle on one more ChemGen and just keep a closer eye on them. I think the addition of 700 watts of hydro basins on at all times means that I will just need to keep another ChemGen on to offset. So I am going to remove all Toxpack zones so that there's no valid space to store Toxpacks. And then to know that there's no valid space, yeah, I right click on it, it says there's nowhere to store it. That way we don't move it around any. Whoa, that happened right next to Thomas. There we go. There's some farming. I'm going to turn off the long-range mineral scanner for now. Because I think with the completion of one more set of armor... Or actually, how would I ask you? Poll what to make. What to make next. Set of armor? Charge weapons, rather? Or... what else uses Plasteel? Bionics. You guys wanted me to fix Yaroslav up with potentially a bionic leg, but unless Bionics wins in the polls, I don't think I'm going to. What I'm going to do, though, is Destroyer. Let's have you go ahead and start getting us some beautiful silver from this deep silver node. Steel, and yeah, that's really easy to get. It's literally in my steel stockpile. I don't think it gets more convenient than that. We mine it and leave it. That's pretty awesome. Once the hay grass is fully grown, I'll harvest that, turn that back to Devil Strand, and that allows us to straw floor up Mermillin's duck barn thing. Maybe consider moving the party spot. Children are in the colony, so I think the party spot stays here because of kids. It's not a adults only party. Okay, that sounds very different than what I mean for it to sound. A hunting site. It's kind of far away. Figure one of the things that we could do is to start reclaiming material from structures outside, because we have a lot of idle colonists. We have free work. And I will happily tidy up the map tile a little bit more. Maybe eventually going after even debris, because I do have that breach axe that I made for Kadath. So there we go, we have Tinctoria. It doesn't grow nearly as quick with regular lamps as it does grow lights. Grow lights are obviously way superior. But this takes a lot less power because it's growing without the almost 3k watt grow lights. And the solar did get made. Nice. I should put a door here in case of raids. Yeah, it's not a terrible idea. I don't think we're going to be in there very long, though. So I think in the case of the raid, I will just uninstall the drill I'll probably not have time for that. Because the problem is if I do put a door here, it becomes a very claustrophobic room that people don't want to be in. And I have plenty of steel and components to be able to replace a drill. So I'd rather just keep them happy, I think. And not shut them into like a janitor-sized closet. A work frenzy for Kadath. We'll get planting. Yeah, polling's still broken. Okay, you guys want me to make Bionics next. So first Bionic is going to be a leg for Yaroslav. And then I'll also take a quick inventory of what injuries that we have, to make sure that if we have any outstanding major injuries that we cure them. So Technoir has no Bionics. Another thing to take a look is to make sure we don't have any body purists, because body purists obviously are not going to want Bionics, and I shouldn't Bionic them. Hyas has no Bionics, no injuries. Kadath has 2 detox lungs. That's something that we could do instead of Bionic legs, is to get detox lungs so that we're immune to environmental pollution. Which allows Shield and Kadath to don the actual armor. But it's really just the helmets that matter. So Sapo, no injuries. Shay's missing a nose, but I don't have aesthetic shape or noses. Yaroslav's missing toes. And Destroyer has a leg scar and a torso bite scar. The leg scar is fixable with a bionic leg. The torso, I'd have to bio-regen. And I do have the Glitterworld meds for that, so that's a possibility as well. Cheers. Question to all of you. Should I run a bio-regen cycle? Yes or no? Because if I do run the cycle, I could either get Shay's nose back or get Destroyer's scar healed. Shay already has a biotuned sculptor pod, so she could go through the biosculptor a little bit quicker than Destroyer could. But with that said, I would have you guys vote on who you think should go through the cycle. I wouldn't pick. Kenneth and the Lair. Ooh, heal serum. So it is the Divine Pope. Wait, was he always a pope? Maybe he was. I'll read this in just a sec. So that was the steel in there, and this steel is worthless to me. Okay. So the Divine Pope of Nation of Nam has sent us a message. Apparently, wasters set up a nearby camp, raiding their caravans. The camp is guarded by 8 wasters, so it's no pushover, but it's pretty doable. And the rewards is a jump pack, bionic arm, shield belt, or heal mech serum, and a construction trainer, or goodwill. So I'll have you vote on that after this current poll is done. Put all the adults in bioregen and leave Mayhem in charge. What's the worst that could happen? Mayhem could happen. I can't think of anything worse than mayhem happening. How long do I have? 6 days? Oh, that's plenty of time. As far as other quests are, there's 3 temporary sites nearby. One for blue fur and meat, one for silver, and one for potatoes. And then there's the complex theft, which is an ancient complex, which likely has cloth, which might not be a bad idea for us to grab either. Is it Vault 6 or Vault 9? Yeah, that's the confusion. It really depends on your perspective. If you're attacking us, it's a 9. If you're defending, it's a 6. Is it blue and gold or white and silver? What were those 2 colors? Laurel or Yanny? Something like that. So I think the beauty in our colony is pretty good. I don't quite have enough chunks for another statue. But I'll queue up more of the sandstone to be hauled. There's the leg. And that is going to go to Mr. Yaroslav. Right leg. And I will use real meds. Put him specifically on the hospital bed. Am I going to paint the pub walls? Eventually. I don't have any dye, so has to wait until I have the dye. I have 10 dyes left, which is not enough to paint much of anything. The other thing I could do is to start to replace the walls in the dining room specifically with jade. Although I think I'd rather just make jade art once our artist is a little bit more skilled. 11 is not enough for me to jump to jade. I don't think. So I think after this piece of art, I will put this piece of art in the brewery and then switch back over to limestone, making limestone art for sale. And not installing it and keeping it specifically for sale. Pull for the raid. Yep. So what reward to accept? The first option is jump pack, shield belt, arm. The next one is heal serum and construction trainer. And the last is goodwill. You like the kitchen layout? Thanks. Nobody's hauling these eggs though. Like ever. But the hay just got done. There we go. So here, I'll switch this over from Devil Strand back to, or from hay to Devil Strand. And then the floors in there, it's gonna be straw matting. I'm also, because of the flammability of straw, I'll install a fire foam just for the duck barn alone. Because straw is a frighteningly flammable material that spreads like, well, wildfire. What does heal serum do? Any injury that you have, non-fatal, gets healed. Missing a lung, you get a lung back. Brain damage? Nope, that's cured. You know, it's healing one thing miraculously, but only one. Except for like luciferium addiction and a few other things. Can I paint the fire foam to match the duck? Maybe. I don't know if it's paintable. So Yaroslav just got his leg. You guys wanted to make more Bionics, so I am going to poll you after this wraps up about what other Bionics to make, whether it's to detox lungs so that we don't have to wear gas masks, or legs, or eyes for shooters, or arms for crafters. You'll make that decision soon. Hey, Shane. I'm pretty sure you're not of age. I am actually allowing Shane to have drugs, though. You're chemically interested, so there's kind of no point in telling you no, because you'll just do it anyway. Bionic tongues for everyone. Give new meaning to silver-tongued community. More like golden and plasteel-tongued. The silver's going pretty good. I haven't called in another trade caravan because I kind of want to wait until we have more of the silver mined up. Another thing that we could do is a long-range scan, because plasteel weighs a lot, but if we did a long-range scan of gold, gold would be a really good way for us to get an obscene amount of wealth really, really quickly, and to be able to use that wealth to do something with it. So the reward to accept would be heal serum and construction trainer. Got it. And the bent camp is actually, unfortunately, very far away. That is not all that convenient. It's a 2.5 round trip. And for us to clear 8 enemies and then march home that long, it probably means that I would likely have to send transport pod construction material instead. Because it's just a little far. Nope, you cannot paint fire foamers. What Bionics should we make? And I'll make a few. So, There, I keep pointing up like it's a bad force of habit. But there's the pole. You've got legs to be able to outrun enemies, lungs to be able to breathe a little bit easier, move a little bit faster, and not have to worry about environmental toxins. Eyes for shooters, and doctors, arms for crafters and constructors, and then other would just be something that I overlooked that you guys suggest. Shield with a shoot frenzy. Cool. Marty's Nomads. 9 desperate nomads consisting of Marty and 8 children would like permission to stay here. Well, I guess I know what I'm doing next. Polling, that is. Marty's kind of sus. Having just read Mick Gordon's account of the Doom's soundtrack, I'm not very fond of Marty's at the moment. I'm not going to get into that, but if you want to, you can Google it to understand what I'm referencing. If I added a learning assistant to my kids, would that let them learn faster? I don't know. I don't know if that implant helps with learning needs. I haven't really looked into the learning mechanics all that much. I've been mostly focused on genetics and robotics. Haven't done a family tutorial yet for that reason. It's also one of those things that I think there's a lot of mechanics that are likely to change. Like, the genetics tutorial I put out last week is going to be... I wouldn't use the word obsolete, but parts of it will be outdated by probably next week. So, it's also one of those things like, oh, I'll just wait and see how this changes over time. That's a lot of kids to be shepherding through the wasteland. Yeah, and with my track record with refugees, they're going to try to kill me. My track record with refugees is really terrible. They almost always try to betray me, and... I don't know about you, but I don't really want to have to kill 8 children. But I also don't want to turn them away. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. So, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to make 2 pairs of lungs. And then have you guys decide on who inherits them. So I'll make 4 lungs. And I'd like to give it all 2 to one person, 2 to another person. So that's how I will do that. But Kathleen will be doing that. Poll. Do we accept the refugee children? Okie dokie. You know what I could do is I could actually put a timer up. Like... there that references the poll. It doesn't work perfectly. There's Twitch polls and the polls that I normally run ran on different timers. But Marty's Nomads. Marty and 8 children. If you're wondering, I definitely have the food for it. And if I switch this hop basin over to rice, we could bolster our supplies even further. I don't have we're collectivists, so as a result I don't really have a charity precept. So it's not so much that we don't believe in charity, but we're also not charitable at the same time. Painted base looks so good. Oh man, if only I had buckets and buckets and buckets of more paint, right? I'd love to fully paint it. It's coming. Maybe next season I'll have my growers really try to plant a whole lot of Tinctoria out here so that we can paint the world. Another big thing that they're doing in the unstable branch, which hasn't released yet, and it's not the one I'm playing, I just want to continue to say that because it will confuse people, is children without weapons are not treated as hostile by raiders. So what happened to Mayhem can be avoided if you have children choose not to equip weapons. That only works for human raiders, does not work for wild animals. So you can give up your weapon and not be targeted by humanoids, but wargs, wolves, bears, etc. They'll still come. They'll still try to eat you. Yes, it looks, well, okay. It's a little bit longer for the Twitch poll, but it does look like we're accepting the refugee children. So, let me work towards that. Tech Noir, I am going to move your bedroom. So current priority is make bionic lungs and help the refugees. Thank you for tuning in to Doomsday Vault, which originally streamed live on Twitch, November 15th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. I'll catch you in the next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Doomsday Vaulters.